Good evening, everybody. It's me again, Johan Swart. Just a little bit of an introduction. This is one of your first videos in my series that you're looking at. Now, tonight, it's actually something different. I'm starting a new series. Now, what right have I got to do this? And who am I? I'm a fourth generation Boerboel breeder. The people who appear on the old pictures of the Boerboel 1955, around about there, is my mother, my grandfather, my uncle. I grew up with Boerboels. So we've been around since before the first alleged organization representing the Boerboel. There were other organizations, and we will talk about them much later. I've made another series of videos on the Mythbusters, the so-called Mythbusters series of videos. And I will continue with them because I'm not finished busting all the myths, and I'm actually can't wait to do the next video, which is going to be on the 1820 British settlers and if they really brought these dogs along, and if these dogs were the source and the origin of the Boerboel. I want to refer all of you to my book, The Handbook of the Boerboel. The Boerboel, a revision of the origins and history of the breed. It took me more than 10 years to write this boy. But it's in print and it's selling incredibly well. The second print is nearly sold out at this stage, and if you are interested in ordering any of the books or getting more information on it, please send me a video at boerboelbook@gmail.com. Very simple address, boerboelbook@gmail.com. Right, now tonight this new series is the first in the series on, call it the Boerboel Academy, for lack of a better word. I want to start sharing the knowledge that I have. It doesn't help that I just talk about the history and the origin and the research I've done. I was trained by Mr. Bert Grabe, I was trained by Klaas van Waveren, I was trained by Piet Sprinkhuisen, I was trained by my mother and my father, who were all the best appraisers of Boerboels that I ever met. Really, they understood the dogs very well. I worked with the best. I've worked with Kobus Rust. I've worked with everybody that was really a name in the Boerboel world. I worked with. And I trained a hell of a lot of the guys who are now supposed to be the big experts. And let me tell you, in many instances, they are deviating because they never understood the message. Somewhere they missed it. Right, okay, so let me start now. What I want to share with you is my understanding of the breed standard of the Boerboel. I'm not going to focus on a breed standard and tell everybody this is now the ultimate breed standard in the world. There's nothing else like this but this. I want to go right back to the first breed standards. Now, everybody knows that there was an initial breed standard of the SABT in 1987. However, that was very roughly written. In 2001, the SABT published an excellent book, A Breeder's Course, in 2001. Why they deviated and don't train this anymore, I've got no idea. But in it is a breed standard, very good breed standard, and we're going to work on that. Now that same breed standard was repeated in the same organizations, excellent training material, very good. Whoever put this together had a better understanding of most of the modern guys. It was excellent. There was really good information in here, and it's also got the breed standard that from dated in 2005. However, a lot of work was done on this breed standard, and one of the other organizations that I was also a part of was IBASA, the Elite Boerboel Breed Association of South Africa, and they also wrote a breed standard at some stage, and it was excellent. It was a good piece of work because it looked at all the aspects. There were many problems in some of the older breed standards and some of the documents that was written over time, and there were repetitions and very vague statements, etc. And it was very much clarified. And that breed standard then also became the basis of a breed standard that was actually negotiated after the Act in South Africa came into force, the Animal Improvement Act. IBASA, SABT, KUSA, the Kennel Union of South Africa, and Boerboel International got together. and we negotiated a common breed standard. And that common breed standard I will also show and publish later. But for a start, this first lecture that I'm going to do tonight was exactly taken up into that breed standard. And all these breed standards, SABT, IPASA, KUSA, Boerboel International, everybody basically agreed on these points. Now, so the first thing we're going to look at is a breed standard, right? Now, why is a breed standard important? A breed standard is important because without that, anybody can breed what they want to. Nobody can tell them they're wrong. Right, the breed standard sets the parameters for this breed, and it sets it in stone. It's not that you have a new committee this year and you quickly meet and you change the breed standard because you like dogs of a different appearance. The breed standard is the norm. The breed standard stays. The breed standard's been around for donkey's years. If you want to change it, you must base it on scientific information. You must base it on the law. You must base it on proven results. There's no such thing as bringing an experimental dog in or crossbreeding and then including or changing your breed standard to adapt to the crossbreeding that took place, right? Or for a new fad. We like dogs with dilute colors or something like that. It's nonsense. It's not in your breed standard. It does not meet the breed standard, and if it does not meet the breed standard, you may not describe that animal as an animal that meets the standard of that breed. Then it is some dog, right? It's not a Boerboel that meets the standard. If you have a fox terrier that does not meet the standard of the fox terrier, is it a fox terrier? Somebody may call it a fox terrier because it looks pretty much like a fox terrier, but it's not recognized by a breeders organization as a fox terrier. Now, what does this breed standard say, and where does most appraisers nowadays totally miss the pot and poo-poo on the floor? Right, I'll tell you, the first thing is they don't know what to look for. The very first thing, all these breed standards said, all the breed standards, and they all agreed with that, is you must look, if it looks like a Boerboel, if it has purebred appearance, right? If it does not have that, if it does not look like the breed, when it comes trotting in, you tell the owner to trot out the other side, or you can be very kind and waste his time for a little bit. He paid some money for this, whatever, and when the results comes out, this dog must be disqualified. There is no bending the rules on what the breed looks like. And if you don't know what the breed should look like, you don't belong in the ring as an appraiser. You don't even belong to call yourself or deserve to call yourself a breeder. Right? That's the first thing. Right? So, if you want to know what a Boerboel looks like, you've got to know what the other breeds look like, right? You've got to know what a Neapolitan Mastiff looks like. You've got to know what a Cane Corso looks like. You've got to know what a Greyhound looks like and what a Great Dane looks like, etc. All the other dogs that have been used for crossbreeding, right? Know them, know their breed standards. Otherwise, you cannot distinguish between the breed standard of the Boerboel and the breed standard of the other breeds, right? The second thing, when you look at the dog, now, the appraiser is standing outside the ring, and if you ever saw one of the old appraisers, he does not stand there with his little clipboard and say, okay, let the next dog come, and he goes tick, 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 and when he's finished with all his ticks, he gives it to an assistant who goes to count up the scores, and that's it. No. A real appraiser will stand there and he will tell the dog, the owner with the dog, run. Go, do your moves. And what is he looking at? He's appraising and evaluating certain things before he puts his pen on paper. He's first of all evaluating if this dog shows breed, proper purebred appearance, right? The second thing that they have to look at is it has to have a strong and imposing appearance. What does that mean? Man, if that dog crawls into the ring, to the appraisal ring, it's not strong, it's not imposing. If it doesn't create a feeling of wow, You know, look at that dog. That's nice. It's imposing. It cannot score well. It's not strong. It's not imposing. A Boerboel, by definition, is supposed to be strong and imposing. So if it's not strong and imposing, you cannot call it a Boerboel, right? The third thing you should look at very clearly, right, is the overall impression of the musculature. If this dog has no muscular development, proper muscular development on the chest, on the back, in the hind quarter, there are many places, the neck bow, everything like that, proper developed loin, everything. You have to put it in your mind that this dog lacks on musculature. What happens is the modern appraiser is so focused with a system that was developed for appraising cows, right? That they look at the feet and the leg and every little component in isolation and they forget the bigger picture. These are the bigger picture things. The appraiser has not put his hand on paper yet. He is still evaluating if this dog that is running there in front of him shows purebred breed appearance, strong and imposing, it looks strong and imposing, and the musculature is well developed and typical of the Boerboel. Right? Now, the next thing is very important. And I see so many of the modern dogs being called long leg and short leg, and people even ask me, do you get long leg Boerboels and short leg Boerboels, and what's the difference and what one should I buy? There is no such thing as a long leg Boerboel or a short leg Boerboel, right? What we have to look at is the height of the dog, right? Taking balance and conformation into account. Balance means all the components of the body are in balance. I'm going to get to that now and give you a very quick sudden measurement to look at that. Right, but you must look at the height of the dog and see, is the height of the dog too high? Right? Or does it join in with the balance? If it's got legs this long, it's not balanced. If it's got legs this short, it is not balanced, right? The conformation, is the head too big for the height of the dog? Or is the dog very tall with a tiny little head? Right? So we've got to look at height, considering balance and conformation, right? I think I'm going to stop here now, right? I think I'm going to stop this lecture and continue in the next video, just doing the same thing and continuing where I left off here. So let's call this video 1A, right, of the Boerboel Academy series. And then we will start with video 1B directly after this. But remember, before we go, if you see this video and you like it on YouTube, please post a like. Right? Please also join my page so that you can get notification if there's any new videos being posted. I will post videos regularly, so it's important. Join my YouTube channel so that you get notified when it happens. Otherwise, you're going to find out too late. And everybody else knows it and you don't know it. Right, let's switch over to the next video.